Like many people, I love Disneyland, and I used to go there a lot since my dad used to work for Disney and we got free passes. If you go to Disneyland enough times, you're sure to have some mishaps both in the comings, goings, and in the park itself. Here are just a few of the misadventures that have happened to me over the years. When I was 9 years old, my dad changed jobs and we moved to Canada, which means we're really far away from pretty much anything. And it meant no drop everything and drive to Disneyland on a whim trips. For 3 long years, our lives were void of Disney magic. Being a kid that was nurtured and sustained by such magic, visiting Disneyland a few times a year since I was an infant, moving to a place that was so far away from Disneyland was kind of a bummer. We only went to Disneyland once through the years that I lived in Canada, so I was really excited for the trip that we had planned. However, the night that we were about to leave, I started to feel really nauseous. I tried to just ignore the feeling in a hope that it'd go away. It didn't. I reluctantly had to come to the conclusion that I was going to have the flu while at Disneyland. I didn't want to tell my family that I had the flu because I thought they might cancel the trip, so I just put on my best healthy face and sucked up the overhanging feeling of death. I managed to keep it up until we got to the airport. I think my parents caught on to my act, though, when I fell asleep on our lunch table. And during the flight in the shuttle, like a man, I crash-landed into our hotel bed to writhe in influenza agony. My twin brother and I share everything, and a hotel bed is no exception. Was it the smartest thing of my parents to throw my brother into the soup of disease I had just turned the bed into? Probably not. Let's just say, again, we share everything, and the flu is no exception. The flu party was on, and the venue was Disneyland. But there is a silver lining to every problem, and I tell you what, there was one freaking kick-butt silver lining to this little cloud. It's called a wheelchair. Now, a wheelchair is a perk whether you're afflicted or healthy. I mean, come on, the world turns into a ride wherever you go. There are special lines in most rides made especially for people in wheelchairs, so a wheelchair turns into a virtual catapult to the front of every line. The front of every line, people, in Disneyland. Thank you, Flu. Thank you. One time, right around when Avengers Endgame came out, Disneyland started to sell a wearable Infinity Gauntlet Cup in their neighboring park, California Adventure. I thought this would be a cool souvenir, so I bought one for $18. After that, a ton of people kept asking me where I got it. I had one kid come up to me, probably to ask about the cup, and he said, "Hey, do you speak Spanish?" I speak a little bit." And that kid just started rattling off the fastest Spanish I'd ever heard. "Whoa, hold on, man, I don't speak that much." "Okay." Then he walked off. For some reason, people kept yelling to me, "Yo, snap, man!" Dude, the fingers don't move. Later that night, I had a lady run up to me and offer me 50 freaking bucks for that thing. Apparently, those cups were like the hot ticket item of Disneyland, and they were really hard to obtain, which is news to me because I got mine no sweat. I could tell this lady was desperate, and she probably promised to get one for her kid, but she's freaking me out, so I turned her down. Then she swore and walked away. When I was 4 years old, my brother and I were especially excited for a Disneyland trip we had planned because we were finally old enough to ride Splash Mountain. We had dreamed of that moment for so long, and we were overflowing with excitement. Over time, we developed a bit of an obsession with the ride. We knew the names of all the characters, knew the words to all the songs, and would watch every YouTube ride-through video we could find, captivated by every detail. The only thing we couldn't watch was the actual movie the ride was based on, because I tell you what, Disney freaking buried that movie. Nowadays, you could get pirated versions of the film, but back then it was nowhere to be found. So anyway, back to the story. The moment came to get in line, but as we gazed up at the towering waterfall as screaming people careened down the slopes, fear struck our hearts. We were really scared, but we decided that was worth the discomfort, so we sucked it up and got on. Throughout the ride, fear had a death grip on me, and everything was a blur around me. I was freaking terrified of the final drop that was just a few minutes ahead, and to be honest, I think I had good reason to be scared. This ride doesn't even have seat belts, and the seats are constantly wet and slippery. As we proceeded towards the dark tunnel leading to the summit, my heart was going a million miles an hour, and my brain was going crazy. Is this worth it? Should I jump off? How deep is the water? Why the crap does this thing not have seatbelts? Just as we were about to climb to the summit, we got stuck. At that moment, I was so freaking relieved. I know now I was totally safe, but back then, I legitimately thought I had just been passed over by the angel of death. So thank the forces of nature for mechanical failure. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching my first video. This video took a lot of time and effort to make, so I hope you like it. I'm just starting out, so if you would share this with your friends and subscribe and like, or subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. But anyway, that about wraps it up. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.